You're grinding every day. Long hours, no backup, no accountability. That ends now. The Empower Solopreneur Mastermind gives you one simple advantage: a weekly power session that turns isolation into domination. Every Friday morning on Zoom, you'll get real coaching and real feedback to make real moves. Join a group of driven professionals in a program designed for solopreneurs and people working at home. Stop getting stuck. Start scaling. Seats are limited. Lock in yours today at modernobserver.com/empower-mastermind.
North Korea tests hypersonic missiles. Tim Walz ends his gubernatorial run. The first GLP-1 pill arrives, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un oversaw test flights of hypersonic missiles and called for a stronger nuclear war deterrent, state media said Monday, as Pyongyang ramps up weapons displays ahead of a major political conference. North Korea's state-run Korean Central News Agency said Sunday's drill involving a hypersonic weapon system was designed to test combat readiness, sharpen missile troops' operational skills, and assess the country's overall war deterrent. Through today's launching drill, we can confirm that a very important technology task for national defense has been carried out, Kim said, according to KCNA. We must continuously upgrade the military means, especially offensive weapon systems. The announcement came a day after South Korea and Japan said they detected multiple North Korean missile launches, which they condemned as provocations. The tests also took place just hours before South Korean President Lee Jae-myung departed for China to meet with President Xi Jinping. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz dropped his bid for a third term on Monday amid a growing fraud scandal in which billions of taxpayer dollars were allegedly swindled on his watch. Explaining his decision, the Democrats' 2024 vice presidential nominee said, "Every minute I spend defending my own political interests would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota." Prosecutors have charged over 90 people for fraud involving bogus nonprofits set up to grab state funding for services to the homeless, hungry, and people needing daycare. The Trump administration has deployed roughly 2,000 federal agents from Homeland Security and ICE to Minneapolis for a 30-day surge to investigate the schemes, which estimates of the theft ranging from at least $1 billion to possibly $9 billion or more. Senator Amy Klobuchar is viewed as a top contender to jump into the Minnesota governor's race. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is cutting off more than $10 billion in social services and child care funding meant for a handful of Democrat-led states over concerns that the benefits were fraudulently funneled to non-citizens, officials told the New York Post on Monday. The Department of Health and Human Services will freeze taxpayer funding from several programs. At least $7.35 billion will be prevented from going to California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting formally dissolves after losing federal funding. The 58-year-old nonprofit that dispersed funds to local PBS and NPR stations and was often thanked alongside viewers like you announced yesterday that its board had voted to shutter the organization. The decision to shut down was not a surprise after Congress passed a budget package backed by President Trump over the summer that cut its funding. The CPB said it was better to close than to remain as an unfunded entity that could be vulnerable to future political manipulation or misuse. The first GLP-1 pill is available in the United States. Commencing a new era for weight loss treatment, Novo Nordisk said yesterday that it had begun rolling out its Wegovy pill, the first and currently the only GLP-1 pill for weight loss approved for sale in the United States. Its price ranges from $149 to $299 per month, depending on the dose, making it less expensive than the injectables on the market, plus no needles. Regulators signed off on the prescription drug last month, and it is now available at CVS, Costco, and through some telehealth providers. The company said it's making enough to avoid the shortages its injectables suffered. Novo's biggest competitor in the weight loss space, Eli Lilly, is working to bring out its own GLP-1 pill soon. That's the Raw Naked Truth for January 6th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.